Okay, so hello, uranium friends. October 17th. So let's have a look at these ETFs: URA, URNM, URNJ. So the move today, is it a big deal? Well, to me, no. I see nothing special about this move at all, and I'm going to tell you why. We have our moving averages in this downward sloping trajectory. They have been the rejection resistance points for quite some time, right? So nothing's changed in that respect. Yeah, we had a little bit of an outside bar on URA, which is going to zoom in a little bit here for you. So yeah, we've had a little bit of an outside bar, moving average rejection. Okay, still within a range here, and it's just, to me, what it looks like is that these things are building a base. There is something significant that I see here on URNM, as that's had quite some volume today. Okay, but if you want to take just the purest picture from these three ETFs, well, guess what? URNM of all three is the weakest. Okay, because it lost its low of, what is this, October 4th, and has confirmed a daily downtrend with its low, its lower high, and its lower low. URA hasn't done that yet. It still hasn't lost its low, and URNJ hasn't. URNJ is, it's close, but it hasn't, right? So the volume here is nothing special. The volume here is nothing special. URNM, this is some above average volume on the day today. So, there were definitely buyers here, which is a pretty good sign, right? So, but all things considered, on these ETFs at the moment, nothing's changed. They're having these rejections of these moving averages, and it's just, as I've said over and over, they like to ride their moving averages, right? Riding up to 12 EMA. Now it's riding it down. So it's going to need to, these ETFs are going to need to recover these moving averages for us to see, and with volume, in my opinion, for us to see these things leg up again. It's pretty obvious, right? So, I mean, that's where we stand with these ETFs. And so let's just take a look at CCJ, because CCJ had quite the move today, and it is one of the important uh, stocks to look at the space. Obviously, right? It's absolutely like the leader of the space, despite what certain experts say that you shouldn't even be buying it or you should be shorting it, whatever. Okay, the chart and the price action completely tells you an absolutely different story. But you listen to who you want to listen to. I listen to charts and I watch price action. That's what I do. So in my last video, we talked about this. I talked about how the 35 level is becoming more and more significant to me. Nothing's changed in that respect. Okay, you still have your anchored VWAP. It's still holding this anchored VWAP. It is building a base, uh, which is nice to see, right? So you're going to be able to, like, when I see a base build like this, it's starting to present a defined risk, uh, bullish entry for me. And that right at the moment now is about 35.50, right? I'm still concerned about this gap. I still see it. We have this volume profile. The shelf here is kind of holding up. But again, this thing is just in between its range, right? So it's 35.75 to 38.32. It's kind of where it stands right now. Um, a good little increase in volume here shows that there was some interest here, and it's obvious, right? So you see it, and it's gotten up into these moving averages, but again, rejection, 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 right at this 38.32 level, 38.30 level. That's going to be like the spot for us to say, hey, maybe something actually has changed. Maybe we are starting to get maybe a leg up off of this uh, down thrust that we've had, which is, all things considered, not even that bad. So, uh, anchored VWAP, moving averages, all things in confluence here. We're just gonna, I'm waiting for the price action to tell me something. I just know at this point, if I get down into this 35 area to 35.50 area, I throw a little piece back on. I'm just taking some picks. But I'm not personally hitting this too heavy at all. So U.UN, all these charts, obviously they look alike, right? So we still have our moving averages. It's still range bound. Nothing special here. This is a pretty nice candle. There is a little bit of increasing volume, but it's not the volume that we truly want to see to get these follow through with these up moves. So, U.UN, it does its thing, right? So, but what it likes to do, once it stretches out, we can look back into September 2021, stretches out these moving averages, wants to reconcile a little bit and kind of clean them up and get them tightened up back together. So this 50-day moving average is pretty good metric. We haven't even gone down to tap it yet. It's got the double with the 50 EMA, and you got your 200-day moving average there as well. So, when I start to see price action like this, I do like to try to find something and I look back to where I see similarities just to see how it acted. And you can see whenever it stretches out these moving averages, it's going to come, it comes back down to these 50 days to see, and then you start to see what the price action happens down here. And then if it's breaking this 50-day, it's probably going to go back to the 200-day moving average. Nothing is perfect. Nothing happens in fractals all the time perfectly. It's just kind of little pieces of information that we can glean along the way. I just know that just in equities in general, in all sectors, when you start to get these moving averages to stretch, they like to stack up again and clean themselves up a little bit so they can either leg up again for another move up, or they can, leg down or find their bases and their equilibriums. U.UN seems to be doing a similar thing. A quick check-in on the URA SPY ratio. Now, there are others who use URNM. Fine, whatever you want to do, but URA has the money, they have the volume, they have the option chain, they have the interest. Money will flow to URA, especially if it's a significant amount of money. So that's why I kind of use the URA against the SPY ratio. Confirmed daily downtrend here once it lost this level. So that's where it is. It's again the moving averages are, this shorter term, real short term, the 5-period moving average has just blasted through to the downside on all that. This doesn't determine anything I do to make. I don't base any individual trades on it. I just keep an eye on it. So that's kind of where we stand. I just want to take a look at let's look at CCJ because there is a little bit of behavior change here, right? So this here's the hourly. This is the daily. You could see it lost its trend, and it's this is the hourly, so it's very short term. But what we did see today is a bit of a change, right? So it's almost it's breaking through. It's trying to fight this downtrend, and this was a great move today. There was some volume behind it early on, and it kind of broke this trend a little bit to the upside. So now it's saying, hey, I'm going to try to reverse the trend. Has it done it yet? No, but this is a very good step. You see, it's tried to reverse the trend here, couldn't do it. Tried to reverse the trend here, couldn't do it. Here, it's tried to reverse the trend and it's really gotten above. So, I don't the long-term people just don't even care about this, right? But you should care about the short-term action because it kind of dictates the space, and maybe you want to take a position in something else. Maybe some small cap, maybe Global Atomic, or URNJ, or whatever you want to do, right? Um, this kind of gives you a signal that hey, maybe things are starting to slightly reverse. So we watch these things. The daily again has made a decent move, but as far as this trend is concerned, with this type of style of charting, it hasn't changed the trend yet. It's still just basing. All right, so that's the deal on the major stuff. Back to URNM because I want to just highlight this volume because it stands out. Like this volume stands out for me today. But it didn't do much to change the chart. So we're going to need to see some follow through. So, you get the next couple of days with some follow through and some volume here, then you could say, we could start to confidently say, hey, maybe the trend is starting to reverse back into the bullish favor. There's a gap here that I'm aware of, that 40.37. and it's got these moving averages, these 50 days, and it's lining up with some shelves here with the volume. It there's a chance. Let me just get more data into this level. Yeah, so you're going to start running into support here on the volume shelf right around this 41 to 40 area, and hopefully it holds. That's the 38% retracement, so it'll still be a very healthy deal as far as that's concerned. And a quick look at URA on its own just to see if there's anything we can glean here. So yeah, URA is still, the 24.45 is the big level, and I think I put out a video a while back talking about 24.50 well before all this happened. We can go back. You can go back and look at it, but I'm just trying. There is a gap down here, and nothing says that it can't get filled. It's literally only $2 away, so it's a 10% drop from here, maybe a little bit more, give or take. I'm just doing math out off my head here. So, yeah, it could get down there. Who knows? But at the moment, it still hasn't breached this level, this 24.45, which, by the way, if it does that, it confirms the daily downtrend on URA as well. So, good things to be watching. URNJ, I don't put as much weight into it at the moment. It's the juniors, and I don't see that we're getting much in the way of large institutional money flow that we're getting into URA, into this ETF at the moment. But there's a base here at 2086, and all eyes are going to be on that for URNJ. So that's the deal with this major stuff with CCJ, U.UN, and the ETFs. Time will tell. We'll see how the next couple of days go. We still have a geopolitical risk that seems to be only escalating, and that could have an effect on the markets overall. And then if we have some sort of black swanish type words coming in, it could be difficult for the sector to absorb in a bullish manner. So, all eyes out for the words nuclear when it comes to the Middle East at the moment. And we're just going to watch the price action from here. Over and out.